Hey, what's up, party people? Welcome to a special President's Day episode of SJU, broadcasting from the past, but discussing the future. Yes, get on your futuristic headgear because we are talking the future of the only franchises that matter, Marvel and DC. Pretty soon, they'll be all that's left. So we might as well talk about what's going to happen with them this year. Because are there other movies? I'm not sure. Maybe on Netflix.
Well, we were talking about some Oscar nominees right before we started, and I was thinking about what if they all get incorporated. It's like Spencer becomes part of the Marvel multiverse.
Yeah, it's all gonna.
Yes, Diana Spencer. Yeah,
they're all
Or
gonna
the dog
get.
will get confusing with Benedict and everything, but I think he can handle it. He's very gifted.
Is that the lost daughter? Oh my god!
Yeah, it's all gonna get red notice. They're all gonna like pull a heist together, and there'll be a lot of banter.
Doctor Strange will say the only way to fix this is the power of the dog.
I'd be into it.
Go back in time, get Bronco Henry to come join them. You need him. He's the vital ingredient.
Oh man,
Power of
stepping
the
out of that
dog.
portal. Yes,
Power of the
please.
dog reference for all of you
Yes.
champion heads.
All
So
right.
that
Well,
going for a really niche crowd here.
yeah, we got all the drama, prestige stuff out of the way. Let's talk. First, let's introduce Bailey, Eric, Lon. Thank you for joining me today. We're gonna do some predictions. We have some pretty big. What would you call them? Nexus points? I forget what they're called in Loki. Coming out this year with Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, and the Flash over on the DC side. That's gonna like shake the ant farm of these two big cinematic universes, and
No,
everyone's
that
gonna get all.
kills them.
What's
That kills the ants. if you
Does
shake
it? I
the
thought it
ant
just
farm.
confused
No.
them. I feel bad now. So that has a lot of potential to completely break things open and put them back together in any way they see fit. And I'm just curious. Let's shoot the. I'll say shit. We're saying shit today.
R-rated. Wow.
Oh my
PG-13,
gosh,
we
just for the
PG-13.
presidents.
Everybody gets one.
Aquaman swearing in this episode.
So I want from each of you at least one bold prediction, and then we can, if you have two, we'll go back around and do two. Starting to my on-screen right, Bailey.
Dang,
Bailey.
Starting with me is so cruel. That's fine.
You can pass.
Listen,
That's fine.
No, I've got one. I don't know how bold this is, but considering we have the scope of the entire Marvel universe in our hands, correct? So I can just say whatever and we're good.
Hey, it's a
Awesome.
bold.
Anything.
Yeah.
It's bold, dude.
All right. This is my thinking. I think given where we left off in the last Spider-Man movie, we are perfectly set up for a Peter Parker, Miles Morales miniseries on Disney Plus.
Ooh, okay.
I think that would be cool as heck. I think based on what they've done with the miniseries so far, it's how they've been introducing the new characters we're going to get to know and sort of passing the torch to the newbies. And I feel like this is a perfect opportunity because he's had his origin story in a 3-part movie series. He finally found out that with great power comes great responsibility. And now he gets to pass that knowledge along to Miles Morales. And I would be really interested to see that show.
This
I
is
like that
interesting.
idea.
It's
Yeah.
interesting from a business it could happen because Sony, usually that would be the stumbling block for Disney would be, but Sony owns all these Spider-Man characters, but Sony doesn't have their own streaming platform. They send stuff to all the platforms. So Sony could produce, Sony Pictures TV could make this show, but then stream it on Disney Plus. Like,
Well, see,
you
I
could
was gonna
actually see
come
that deal
out
happening.
against it from a business perspective, only in the sense that No Way Home is the third highest grossing film of all time. And why would they burn a Spider-Man thing on Disney Plus? Like, if you have Spider-Man in anything, you're going to put it out in theaters and charge people, X amount of dollars to come see it, right? They're not going to waste That's for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Disney Plus isn't for Spider-Man.
I just think it's not an either, it's a both. They'll do both. Yeah.
They are doing
after the miniseries, they have a duo movie.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, for what it's worth, they are doing that. I'm forgetting the title of it, but they announced that Spider-Man animated series for Disney Plus that does sound like a direct prequel to the Tom Holland movies. It's like the origin of the MCU Spider-Man.
It's him, but when he was still in high school.
It's the movies.
Early...
Well, it's the what he was doing pre-Civil War in the
that tiny sliver of time.
Geometry class? He's in high school.
You're gonna find out. It's a lot more interesting.
So much fun.
Bitten by a Spider is now 4 episodes. It just takes a really long time.
They're really stretching it out.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going clockwise.
Hold on.
Whoa, you're not done predicting.
I'm just going to argue really fast from a business perspective. I think there is nothing more valuable than being the talk of the town for several weeks in a row. I think social media, getting people's eyes on Disney Plus, there's nothing better than that.
Spider-Man doesn't need that. That's a Moon Knight thing. That's Moon Knight talk.
Spider-Man doesn't need that, but I think Disney Plus does. So.
Fair.
What if Spider-Man has like a chimney sweep throwback London accent? How about that though?
I love it. And they never explain it.
Never explain it. Yeah.
Spider-Man I am.
Which, to my ears, is Tom Holland's natural speaking voice. All British people sound like chimney sweeps.
That's what he sounds like in all the press junkets. So why not?
All right,
Okay,
Eric, what do you got? What's coming up?
My main prediction, I guess, I'm sticking on the Marvel side here with my big prediction, which is, and I want to caveat that I thought this before the Doctor Strange trailer gave us the big Patrick Stewart thing, but I do think this movie will directly lead to like the mutants in the MCU. Which I already thought, they kept saying that, oh, this is like a big connected story. First they said WandaVision and Doctor Strange, and they kept adding to it. They said Loki's connected, and then they said Spider-Man's connected. They keep, which obviously it is, but they keep adding to it, but they act like Doctor Strange is going to kind of wrap up this multiverse sort of mini saga. Well, it's not really, because we know it all continues. But I keep thinking it's like they're holding back on the mutant stuff. They have all the X-Men. I think it was smart to wait a little while. But I think the events in this movie and where Scarlet Witch goes next is going to much more directly, because even Patrick Stewart showing up in this movie, he's not going to be like the Professor X that'll continue in a bunch of movies. So I think it's going to directly, however it happens, whether they do like a reverse of the comics where she said no more mutants, now she'll say, how about some mutants? Whatever happens,
more mutants.
Right. Something.
Can I interest you in a mutant?
I would like an array of mutants. Something will happen, and her story specifically, I think, will lead into.
Yeah.
What a good crowd.
Good looking group.
But so, just to be clear, you're calling your shot. You think this is Doctor Strange 2? I want you to say.
2. Yeah, I think Doctor Strange 2 is going to the next thing it'll set up in a big way, kind of fairly directly, I think, is like really not doing the Ralph Boner of it all, not doing Professor X sitting on a console, but he's probably not the guy we met in those other movies, doing like getting to a new person playing Wolverine. Will probably begin with Scarlet Witch in Doctor Strange 2. I think that's like, that's something that they keep holding back on, that they're going to go big on eventually. And I think this movie that's the big thing that they're going to directly lead to with it.
It's interesting. I mean, obviously they have to at some point, and they probably will have to go through like a Scarlet Witch multiverse answer for it. But like, I don't know, that doesn't really appeal to me as far as like the kind of the arch metaphor behind mutants and being a mutant. It seemed like it's something that like happens naturally, and they're these outcasts that are hiding among us and stuff like that. And for them to be like basically a Thanos snap and then pop, here come the X-Men. Seems kind of like a cheap way to do it to me.
It's going to be tricky. I think it's going to be an amalgam, because I don't think they can do one more time what they did with Eternals, which is they've been here the whole time. We just never mentioned
Everybody's been here the whole time.
Yeah. I don't think they can do that again. And I think they know they can't do that again. So I think it's going to have to be a like something huge changes, but they'll want to get to the whole metaphor for, discrimination and all that. So it's going to be probably a little bumpy road to get there, but I think that's the ultimate goal, is what they're going to try to do.
Okay, fair enough.
Here's my one sticking point with that, though, is I don't want there to be a new Wolverine. I want Hugh Jackman to play Wolverine for the next several decades.
90-year-old.
No one addresses it.
And he has to get that jacked every time.
Barely lift the claws.
Everyone acts like he hasn't aged a day, and they keep making remarks about it too. Like, you look just like I remember you, and he's like bent over, like, yes, I sure do.
Well, at that point, it'll be to de-age people. We'll just be flipping a button, They'll
That's
just be
right.
like, it's flipping a switch. Just be like, oh yeah, the de-ager, we got that.
I really want them to have that eternal scene in every new superhero movie they do. Like somebody's like Professor X, like, why didn't you guys fight that? He's like, well, we were told not to. The robot in the sky, and he psychically contacted me and he said, don't do
Now's
this.
not the time.
Someone's just like, maybe I'm an a-hole. What about that? What are you gonna do?
Or because we know so little about it, maybe they've all just been in Wakanda. Forever. All the X-Men just chilling in the danger.
Xavier's mutant school is just in Wakanda.
They'll do the gag from Spider-Man Far From Home with Mysterio being there watching like Tony Stark speak, but they'll do it with like all the X-Men watching like the Wakanda fight at the end of Infinity War. They're just like, you pan over, they're just like eating chips, being like, they're handling it.
All right, it's kind of a safe prediction, Eric. But I'll allow it. Lon, what do you got? Go bold. Go big.
I'm going to jump over to DC because we haven't talked about them yet. I actually feel like it's a 2-part like reboot of the DC universe that we're about to get. Part 1 is, or I don't know what order they're going in. I'm blanking on it. One part is the Flash, and one part is this is the Black Adam movie with the whole Justice Society coming in, like all of these new characters. I kind of feel like we are sunsetting the Snyderverse in large scale, but they're going to figure out a way. The Flash movie is going to show us how are some characters that we need to salvage going to be in this new reality. We got to keep Aquaman. We got to keep Shazam. We got to keep Harley Quinn. We've got, Peacemaker's got to make the journey. So I think that's the needle they've got to thread with these movies. And I sort of feel like we're going to get one part in Flash where it's going to explain how these realities collide and how Michael Keaton is apparently moving forward going to be in more movies. We know he's in Batgirl. We know he's going to be sort of in the mix to stay, as opposed to sort of Batfleck and that reality. So I feel like that's how we're going to explain how these realities kind of come together. And then Black Adam is sort of our chance to like, and now here's the new DC universe that we're going to start introducing you to, and some of the weird corners of it. Like here's Dr. Fate, here's Atom Smasher, a bunch of stuff we've never seen before.
Okay. I mean, where does the Batman fit in all this? Or did you mention that?
Well, I think overall, we kind of know that DC is not doing the Marvel thing of like everything is not in this one cohesive single narrative. Right. Like Joker is still an offshoot, and the patents like Matt Reeves said pretty specifically, I think that like that was a deal breaker for him. He was like, I'm making this, it's a pocket universe where it's just whatever I want to do, and like Shazam's not coming to my Gotham. Screw you guys.
Yeah, but I just think they to predict DC is so hard because I really think they take it one film at a time and then just start from scratch. And they're like, well, that didn't work. Let's try something different. Or that worked. Let's lean in.
But we know that Shazam and Black Adam are creating some kind of a new hub. Even if it doesn't extend to everything, there's going to be cross-pollination between those movies. And I don't think they're introducing like Hawkman and Dr. Fate with the plan to like never use these characters again.
Yeah,
I feel you're laying the groundwork for some larger storytelling. Whether it encompasses everything or not, I don't think so. But it'll encompass some of the new movies.
I just think if Black Adam is a Shazam level hit, as in like successful but not huge, like they are not above pulling the cord and just completely changing angles again and canceling stuff that's in development.
True.
And then they announce Batman versus Black Adam.
Right.
Yeah.
But I do think there will always be offshoot things. Like there's always going to be like, they're going to make Joker 2 no matter what, because it made $1 billion the first one. And like, I don't think Joker 2 is going to interact with like Michael Keaton's Batman. I mean, who knows? But I doubt it. Yeah. I doubt Harley Quinn's showing up in that one.
I'm just impressed they finally figured out how to change the color grading. Look at that.
Yeah, look at that. This must be in Mexico.
It's not even blue at all.
That scene must be set in Mexico or Central America.
Based on like the entire thing, it looks like they're going with more of like a mustard overlay. And I'm like, all right, sure, let's mix it up a little.
Honestly, that's the exact Reacher color palette. Like he looks like if he was in a different outfit, I'd be like, this is the movie. This is the new Reacher.
Everything is yellow. That is kind of you're either yellow or blue if you're a movie these days. There's no in between.
Yeah,
so true. So true.
All right, I like that, but like you said, you got to keep some flexibility when it comes to DC predictions because they could fire the whole executive suite again and just completely change the slate again, no matter how much money they've sunk into something.
Yeah, there's no telling with those
guys. So I'll go back to Marvel, back to my personal comfort zone because I am supremely confident. Here's my prediction: that every remaining large movie star will be taken off the board and assigned an MCU role by the time the year ends. I'm talking the big boys: Tom Cruise, John Krasinski. Obviously, we know he's going to be. I actually know. Here. Let me refine my pitch. They're not going to cast them as the people that the fans think they're going to be cast as, but they are going to be brought into the MCU. Like John Krasinski's coming in, but he's probably going to be like Captain America or something, not Reed Richards.
Are you suggesting this as because there has been a rumor that we've in Doctor Strange 2, we're getting the Illuminati, and we're going to get like maybe variations of characters we know from other universes where they're played by other. So are you suggesting that it's like a cameo, like, oh, Tom Cruise is the Iron Man from a parallel dimension? Or are you suggesting it's like as regular, like we're going to see them in a bunch of films?
I think we're going to get them in like cheeky cameos or one-off villain mode because, Marvel is, at the end of the day, it is still Disney and they're sort of cheap, or at least they'd rather like build up a Sebastian Stan than hire Tom Cruise to be in 8 movies. But yeah, you're going to get a Tom Cruise Iron Man. That's a great call. John Krasinski is going to be in there as a cameo. I don't think he'll be Reed Richards. I think Will Smith is going to move over to the MCU in one form or another.
Wow, big call. Obviously out here.
Obviously, Keanu. I think Keanu. It's like almost guaranteed he's going to slip into this universe one of these days. And Ryan Reynolds will return, but as his Blade Trinity character. That's my big prediction. He will be back in the MCU.
Hannibal.
As Hannibal.
I would say, did you see yesterday how loudly he is denying that he's in the movie?
He's going full Garfield.
I mean, it's too far. It's already like the Reynolds doth protest too much. I think he's in the movie.
Yeah. Oh, and I had one more. Denzel Washington, meet your new Magneto.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
It's the only role with enough like gravitas. I just think that we've reached a time where
Denzel from Training Day, just put him in the MCU.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the only person who can take down a Scarlet Witch is another Scarlet Witch. I'm thinking Nicole Kidman.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Some practical magic for you.
Oh, very nice.
I just think
Can't
that this
have her
is
on set the same day as Tom Cruise, but it'll be worth it.
This year has been like the full like tombstone for like original movie that you see because a movie stars in it. Like you can put 2021 as like the date of death. So all of these people, if they want to have any more kind of relevancy or stay on top of Hollywood as they've been used to, they're gonna have to just suck it up and play Nova. They're just gonna have to put on a dumb helmet and wave their arms around in front of a green
It is funny when like an actor.
It
is funny when like an actor is like, breaking out or having a moment, and I do find myself thinking, now what superhero will they end up playing? Like Dakota Johnson's a great example, but I'm like, yeah, like Kristen Stewart, she's gonna end up in a costume at some point,
She's holding out. She's really trying her best.
I think Kristen Stewart will never be in another big franchise
I
again.
don't know.
Never say never.
I think she's got a great thing going right now.
It's admirable that she's held out this long, but I don't.
Because you could always do I play a great villain who dies at the end of the one movie, so you're not, you don't have the commitment. You can always do that.
Yeah.
But so maybe.
So mark my words:
It's
Tom Cruise, Keanu Reeves, Denzel Washington, Will Smith, John Krasinski. All will be in or cast in an MCU.
What about Hanks? Watching the Elvis trailer, I was like, what will Tom Hanks play an elder statesman? An anti-mutant senator? I don't know.
Yeah, I can see him as like a secretly evil president or something.
What is Meryl Streep going to do?
Oh, it's gonna stuff like that.
Wolverine.
Love it. Done and done.
Like, who would think we're in a reality where it's like, oh, Robert Redford made a surprise cameo reprising his Captain America role in an Avengers movie. Like, that's a crazy statement I just said, but it actually happens.
Yep.
So.
I think feeling like Schwarzenegger is also like, when are we getting him? He's due.
Him and Stallone.
Oh, and I think I read like
Stallone's one of the Guardians. So we're really waiting on Arnold to get thrown. But like Zeus is pretty close. Like, When's that happening? That's got to happen.
Like I believe I read Glenn Close is going to be reprising her role as Nova Prime for the Guardians of the Galaxy coaster at Epcot. And I was like,
wanted you to say Cruella de Vil so
I'm,
bad.
I'm all in on all this stuff. Obviously,
when
that
are we
also
going
has
into
to
the
be
Cruellaverse?
a real moment for Glenn Close. Oh yeah, I'm filming some stuff for a roller coaster because of that movie I made.
Well, wait, and see, I feel like that's a real sore spot for me because they toss off the reference to Xandar being utterly destroyed by Thanos. I assumed she and John C. Reilly were both dead.
And his family.
Yeah,
they were in the bunker.
Poor John C. Reilly's family. They did nothing wrong.
Maybe the coaster will be like, we're all fine.
Oh,
You're right, because
nice.
they didn't get snapped out. They got blown up, so they're not back.
Yeah. He went and stole their Infinity Stone and destroyed their planet.
Ouch.
Oh, well, maybe, okay, that's what they're going to do with the Rock and Roller Coaster when they get rid of the Aerosmith hologram.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's going to be John C. Reilly and his family getting into a car and quickly escaping.
Escape from Xandar,
corkscrew.
Yeah.
I'm into this, yeah.
How about
What a
Steven
good
Tyler
ride
in the
that
MCU?
is.
I think he can play
That would fix it. That would fix it.
any number of things.
Clearly a celestial, Steven Tyler.
Who's that?
I
He
think.
could be Devil Dinosaur or
Oh, Devil Dinosaur, yeah.
that other dinosaur with like the wings that can talk. Is like
Sauron.
Yeah,
Is there
yeah.
a Marvel
Yeah.
character that just wears a lot of scarves? Is there a
Yes.
very scarf-heavy Marvel character? That's
I
perfect.
can make it happen.
All right. Well, I think we got pretty bold. If anyone has any more, shout them out. Normally, we'd ask the chat if you had any, but this isn't live, so sucks to be you. Leave them in the comments below. We'll read them later.
I would love to do another episode
Surprise,
where we
Ryan.
respond to them.
Oh, Ryan broadcasting live from an airport.
from Gate F at Tampa Airport. I say,
Do the people at Tampa Airport have any thoughts on the
Any
multiverse, Ryan? Do you want to ask around?
I want you to go up to them like Billy on the Street style.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen to the MCU?
Glenn
No, I
Close.
$5. Name a superhero.
Did
I'll
Nova
start doing
Prime
the
survive? Just run up to people.
All right, we'll move on. So there's other news apart from those two things. There's another mega.
How could there be? I don't
There's
believe it.
there's one other mega corporation who makes things. That's the conglomerate formerly known as CBS Viacom, right?
Icon CBS.
Everybody's
Now they're-
changed their name to
Now
they're
it's
just
Paramount Global.
they're just
Yeah.
Paramount Global, which I think is like overdue. They should just pick one thing and stick with it because you had so many different brand names running around, and now it's Paramount, the thing that you all know and love. Because when you think Paramount, you think mountains. and all of their
Indiana Jones.
Indiana
right?
Jones, even though they
Mission
don't have it
Impossible.
anymore. Yeah.
Regardless, they did a big Disney style mega announcement this week. A ton of content coming. All these movies that will have the brief but now standard 45-day window before showing up on streaming. So let's go through some of these announcements and just give me like a good thumbnail reaction face as I say them out loud. So Halo's been renewed for a second season before the first episode has even come out.
I actually feel like, as somebody who does not know any of the lore, like the trailer totally worked for me. Like I played multiplayer Halo and was like, that looks like Halo. I'll watch that. But the people who know Halo lore are like, this is devastating and I hate this. And so I don't know.
Why
For me-
is no one teabagging anyone? This isn't my Halo.
I'm a person who knows all of the Halo lore, and honestly, whatever. It's so confusing. It's been going on forever. Do something fun with it. That's my hot take. Is like, do whatever.
Yeah,
I mean,
Halo. I feel like
sense
I
of Halo
have.
lore is like you're in the Jeep and then you get the gun and you fire the little pink darts at the other guy. Like it with that all seemed like it was in there.
I have said it before on the show, but Halo is more of a vibe than a plot. It's more of like just kind of cruising around like
Yeah.
a space ring and just kind of shooting
Yeah,
some little guys with lasers.
Yeah, it's got that like Shin Megami Tensei thing going on where it doesn't really make sense if you look at it in order, but like shooting stuff's cool, and gosh, these aliens sure are evil, and
Yeah,
that computer's hot.
Siri, but hot. That's kind of the core of it. But she wasn't blue, so it's bad.
It's bad. I mostly think it's funny, like because Lord of the Rings has been renewed for season 2 as well by Amazon before we've seen
Too big
any
to
of it.
fail, yeah.
And it's that's the thing is like, I guess when you're these companies and you've spent so much money on these giant projects and there's such a kind of beast even put together, they just have to be all in because it's probably so hard to get everyone back to do a season 2, and they're crossing their fingers here, right? Because if either of these things crater, like no one cares, it's just completely rejected. They've just spent hundreds of millions more to make another season.
Yeah.
But I guess that Halo's been in the works for so long now, through so many iterations. They're like, all right, let's try to get. We're going for it, and hopefully they have it. Hopefully the showrunner sticks around this time because they've gone through 3 of them.
Right. That's what the sort of hidden story here is that the timing, they didn't have a choice. They couldn't really wait any longer because if they want all of these people to come back, their contracts are about to expire because this has taken so long. So their choice is basically either one and done, Halo is over after a season, or we re-up early, get everybody locked into new contracts, and then keep our fingers crossed and hope that everybody doesn't hate it as much as it seems like they're going.
I just wonder, what is money really an issue, or is this why they just raised all of our Amazon Prime memberships by like $10? It's the Halo effect or the Lord of the Rings effect.
The Halo effect.
It's really hurting for cash.
No, but we are starting to get into the point where Wall Street is starting to question, like, do we need to spend this much money in just a forever way before these streaming services start making it back? Like, we just saw this with the Paramount announcement. The day after they announced they're going to spend $66 billion in content through 2025, the stock price tanked because investors are like, I don't think they're going to get that $6 billion back from Showtime and Paramount Plus put together. And so, it's not like they're running out of money or going bankrupt, but we are starting to get into the point of like questioning whether you're going to recoup these billions of dollars you're spending on stuff like Foundation or, the Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power, or Wheel of Time, or some of these shows that may not generate the audience they need to be worth this investment.
But yeah, I mean, it obviously, if it affects the stock price, then those people start to notice. But I think that you have to take each company on its own basis, because some of these aren't even pretending to be in the business of recouping their investment. Like Apple TV Plus is not like, oh boy, I hope Foundation's a hit so Apple can keep our doors open another week. Like they're not hoping for that to do. It's just a way to sell more iPads.
It's just like a producer's thing.
Yeah, right. They're trying to take it.
They're just money laundering.
Yeah, basically.
Well, they want you to keep buying Apple products.
And Amazon, they just want you to keep your thing so you get your toilet paper.
You get it for free if you keep getting your iPhone every year, and that's the behavior they want to reinforce more so than sign up for $5 a month and watch Ted Lasso.
Yeah,
I do love being rewarded for consumerism.
It's the best. It's all we got. All right. Speaking of things we've consumed too much of over the years, South Park is still going. Although I will say that some of the specials, one of the 2 specials was very funny. The COVID thing they did was good. They still have their fastball sometimes, but they're still making a lot of episodes, man. Matt and Trey, money. It's great.
They got a lot of it.
And it's a absolute mess. Eric, can you walk me through the rights issues at South Park?
Paramount, I'll just call them Paramount now with the corporate change up. They did a very strange thing. When it happened, we all thought it was strange, which is December of 2019. I checked this date. They made a $500 million deal to sell the streaming rights to South Park, the TV show, all the seasons completed, to HBO Max for 5 years, which confused a lot of people who said, hey, Paramount, you already have CBS All Access. I think we already knew they were going to rebrand it. Why would you give away the streaming rights? Not give away, they got money for it, but why send away the streaming rights for one of your most valuable IP that has the thing that all the streamers want, which is tons of episodes that just keep you there watching? And it seemed like they immediately regretted it because they did this funny deal with Matt and Trey. They re-upped them and they said, we're going to make original movies for Paramount Plus. So they found a loophole. They were like, HBO Max has the show and they keep getting the episodes from Comedy Central, but we're going to make movies 2 a year. And now at this event, they announced, and it was funny to see them announce it. They're like, Paramount Plus is getting South Park in 2025 because we have to wait for this HBO Max deal to end. But in the meantime, we're going to keep making 2 movies a year, and international, they're going to get it earlier because the HBO Max deal was only for the US. So it's really just this company that seemed to make a short-term decision. And I mentioned there in the notes that they did the same thing with Yellowstone. They sold the streaming rights to Peacock. Then it became a huge hit. And now they keep ordering spinoffs for Paramount Plus, where they're like, we don't have the main thing everyone loves, so we're going to keep making things around it for Paramount Plus. So that's
interesting.
They just have a wing of their legal team searching for loopholes in the bad contracts they've signed. Essentially.
They seem to
Sounds
feel
like.
like if they make enough Taylor Sheridan shows, another one will have to be a hit. Like it's like percentages at this point.
If
Like
there's a Taylor Sheridan show on at all times,
give him literally 40 shows. It's just like betting on every spot on the roulette board. Like
I'm
one
happy
of
he
them,
got a
yeah.
verse, a Sheridan verse.
He's got a share. Like honestly, I gotta say, Mayor of Kingstown, really good show. I enjoyed it. I
Oh,
enjoyed
good.
it a lot.
Okay, I've been meaning to dive into that one.
Enter
let's
the
do it.
Rennerverse.
Who else should have a verse? I want a Safdie verse. I think they should have.
Wow,
um,
yeah.
a million
Where's the
shows, and they
Safdie
should all
verse?
interact.
Absolutely.
oh yeah, I'd be in.
So yeah, I guess on regarding South Park, does anyone care? I feel like you want to watch South Park, you just like Google it and like just stream it wherever it's playing. This isn't gonna like get you to sign up for Paramount.
The main reason is it's mostly the funny thing of seeing them try to get around. Just the fact that they're like, we're going to be home to South Park in 3 years. It's amusing on a corporate, like clearly like very blatantly second guessing themselves, and they should, because it was a weird deal when they made it in the first place.
Right. It was not like at the time people weren't like, that's the most valuable thing you own. Why would you sell that to somebody else? Like,
Yeah.
What do you? Oh, you've got ridiculousness. Good job.
Right.
Securing
will say,
the future of this company.
If you've fallen off as I had, I think around 2015, 16 for South Park or earlier, they
Well, but you
managed
held out
to
for a while, didn't you?
What's that?
Yeah, you were
You
in.
held
You
out
were
for a
really
while.
in.
Yeah, fair. Okay, since the movie, since Bigger, Longer, and Uncut,
Sure.
they
15
did.
years before.
They're one of the shows that in this, because I watched these latest movies on Paramount Plus, they managed to pull off they're all grown up now in a good way. So like they could have like the grown up version of South Park that takes place in the future, where everything is like everything is plus.
I'm
there's some
more
clever
looking
jokes in there.
forward to the Beavis and Butthead revival. I have to
Please,
say.
yes, let's
I've missed
discuss.
them more than the South Park kids
So,
who've been around with us
Beavis and
the whole time.
Butthead do the universe.
Yay!
This July, premiering new film, followed by brand new episodes. The official description, in perhaps the dumbest space movie ever made, Beavis and Butthead are sentenced to space camp by a creative judge in 1998. Their obsession with a docking simulator.
Sounds right.
I get it. Sex
So good.
Leads to a trip on the space shuttle with predictably disastrous results. After going through a black hole, they reemerge in our time, where they look for love, misuse iPhones, and are hunted by the deep state. Spoiler, they don't score. Well, we're all laughing except for Bailey.
I'm doing a little laughing.
There's an age.
so
There's a
much.
there's a demographic gap here that I think is crucial. Yeah.
It's so good.
So yeah, do we like this this pitch of the film followed by the series of them coming back from the 90s unchanged?
Yes.
Time travel.
I'm in. I mean, I think are we gonna still get the music video segments? That's my main question.
That's probably, I don't know.
As with everything Beavis and Butthead, that's
You
always
probably won't, because even like when they do the episodes that are on Paramount
rights
Plus
issues.
don't have them.
Yeah.
no, it used to be because it was on MTV, which was also where the music videos were.
Yeah.
That was how they got around the licensing. And
Right.
now,
But
that
weirdly,
is
they
not a
also
thing.
own MTV, right?
Yeah,
They do, but they
MTV
don't own
doesn't
the
make
music.
the
Don't own-
rights.
yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
get the license from all the record companies for the music videos anymore.
Yeah.
I just feel like they could cut a tiny check, like Halo's craft service budget, to like license music videos
I mean,
or
also,
YouTube videos or
At
whatever.
this point, we know that Beavis and Butthead was a music discovery service in the 90s. Like, I know a lot of people who first heard a lot of those songs because they were on that show, including myself. That's how I discovered Ween.
Ween.
Yeah, they
Amazing.
did a couple Ween.
But they push a little
songs on
daisies.
Beavis and Butthead. They
Daisies.
did
Yeah.
Push
Oh,
a Little
yeah.
Daisies, exactly.
That's great.
Gosh, the 90s sound like they were really difficult.
There was no like if somebody did not tell you, hey, you should listen to this band, they're good. You just never heard about it.
Right.
No,
It
they
didn't
never did.
exist.
They didn't
Yeah, but
exist
that
yet.
was our React channel, Bailey. That was watching
Yeah, like
people
we-
react to
Oh.
things.
They
was
were
Beavis and
kind of
Butthead.
the proto
They
reactors.
were the original.
They really
YouTube
were.
reactors,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
That's yeah. I also think it is funny because there was a very, I think it only lasted one season, but there was a revival of Beavis and Butthead like 10 years ago.
There was, yeah, one
Uh,
season MTV. I think did Comedy Central do it?
It might have
Comedy
been,
Central,
yeah. So I want to see if people that obsess on Beavis and Butthead canon try to figure out how this will all work. If this posits that they've been gone since 1998, how do you account multiverse? They'll have to figure it all out.
To quote Beavis and Butt-Head, nerd. All right. Well, we're all excited for that. But we'll check back in because
not
I do
so much
think
Bailey. The rest
them reacting
Listen,
to things.
I wasn't allowed to watch it because my parents were in charge of the remote and I was a baby.
Fair. And also you were a baby.
I'm
Also,
sorry.
you were a baby.
I caught Daria when Daria was out.
Yeah,
Daria's great.
What more do you want from me?
King of the Hill, like they're all. That was the genesis of the BCU. So we move on to because there's other things coming out. Transformers is getting more stuff. Actually, I'm just gonna list all of these. Stop me if you like any of them.
Sure.
More Transformers, more Sonic, more Quiet Place, more Ninja Turtles, more Star Trek. Which of those tickles your fancy?
I do like the Ninja Turtles thing that, there's Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg are doing a new movie, and then we're going to get shows that are spun up, but they said about the villains, which I think is an interesting tack for Ninja Turtles. We've never seen that approach before, where it's like, we'll get a Baxter Stockman.
What is Baxter Stockman?
That's right.
Do? Yeah.
Right, like series or a Krang series
Muckman.
or something, yeah.
I
delve
think
into
that's pretty dumb. But
There you go.
I do think Seth Rogen, that's an interesting choice to produce a Turtles thing. I mean, they're all party dudes. I feel like he could nail the Michelangelo aspect of it all.
Who do you think is going to hotbox their shell first?
Definitely Mike.
Yeah.
Come on, it's definitely Mikey.
It's
They will
Mikey.
use
Yeah,
they'll use Donatello as a bong. They will use his shell.
Considering his love of pottery, could you not also say that he does machines?
He does machines in a sense. Yeah. I don't know. Is this going to be live action or
Animated,
Animated,
I believe.
fully animated?
Oh,
Okay.
God.
Yeah.
I know
more-
these are
no
all.
nightmare fuel.
Eric, correct me if I'm wrong. I think these are all cartoons,
I
right?
think so. I think that
yeah.
nothing coming up is going to be trying the live
No,
action.
we've learned a
Yeah.
valuable lesson.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
all right. We brought up Sonic, so
All right. Yeah.
that's
Sexy
a
Knuckles.
photorealistic
They announced
hedgehog
Sonic
if I've ever
3.
seen one.
Yeah, well, we're getting the Sexy Knuckles show bridging the gap between 2 and 3, I believe.
That's right.
But they've announced Sonic 3 already before
Yeah.
Sonic 2 has come out.
Yep.
Because they're that confident that people want to have that people want
Rightfully so.
more. They want sexy Knuckles.
I'm
I
one of
don't
many
doubt
people
them
who
at
have
all.
pointed out this pandemic has been long enough to have 2 Sonic movies.
Jesus.
We got the first one right heading into it.
Yeah.
That was I saw it on Valentine's Day.
Yeah. It was
A
one of the last
beautifully romantic
junkets.
film.
One of the
In
last
part
junkets I did
because-
in person.
in
One of
part
the last
because
times I
Sonic
sat
needed
across from
a-
people.
He needed a cosmetic upgrade. There was a little
Right.
delay on it, in fairness.
Yes,
That's right.
yes.
So Sonic
Okay,
could get his
so
face on.
I mean, Bailey, you're clearly hungry for more Sonic content. Is Sonic 3 enough, or are you demanding, as it says in the notes, Sexy Knuckles the series?
I want everything. Here's the thing. All right. I feel like people are going to be mad at me for this, but I'm going to say it anyway because I don't read the comments. Say your worst. I don't care. I don't give a shit. We all get one. That one's mine.
Take it.
I didn't care for the first movie.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I didn't think it was Sonic enough. I didn't like that a lot of the movie is Sonic being driven around in a car. I thought that he could have been basically any video game character until like there's one scene where his speed really, really matters.
Wow.
And maybe 2 scenes, if I'm remembering correctly. But it's just like for the bulk of the movie, he could have been any video game character. It could have been Crash Bandicoot, could have been Banjo-Kazooie, could have been anyone.
Don't give them ideas. Those are all in development.
Take it.
Get James Marsden in a car with a Bandicoot.
Same exact movie, just change it to Crash Bandicoot. But I really feel positive about like the inclusion of Knuckles. We've brought Tails in. Like, I feel like now that they've established the world, I think there can be a little bit more Sonic-y in the sequel. So I'm feeling optimistic.
I think that you're onto something because they didn't go full Sonic in the first one. You just get a little taste at the very end of like Robotnik in the Mushroom Land. So I think a fully unhinged, a fully Robotnik-fied Jim Carrey, plus Sonic, plus Tails, plus Knuckles, plus all the erotic Sonic fanfic, all thrown into one zone together is going to be
important.
really
I mean, that's
bizarre.
what I
We'll see if we
want,
can follow him
because
there.
Jim Carrey was hottest right at the end. So I could have him like that the whole
Yeah.
movie.
Sexy
I mean,
Robotnik.
Way better.
We've still got
Way
more.
sexier Sonic movie. Between that
We've
and Knuckles.
definitely
Oh my
got
god, I'm
more
done.
characters for at least a fourth. Like Shadow isn't in the mix yet. We've got a lot. We've got a ways to go.
Yeah.
Shadow, you have to introduce a lot of concepts before you can bring Shadow in. Okay, I'm waiting. I think
Well, I'm
Amy's
saying
gonna
we got at
first.
least 5. We got at least 5 films in the.
I'm just
Sonic
excited they got
franchise.
the real Tails voice actor to come in and voice Tails, and they didn't hire like some random celebrity to come in and
Chris
do
Pratt.
it.
Chris Pratt. Yeah.
Chris Pratt.
Daniel
You know he
Day-Lewis
auditioned.
returns to motion pictures.
He definitely auditioned.
All right, let's do
we'll just go with the original voice.
one final announcement before we move on to our final activity of the day. So the Abrams Star Trek cast is actually coming back thanks to market research. That's pretty exciting. They did a Paramount like commissions. What they did like a survey or something like,
Yeah, you know.
if you were to rate these people out of 10, what, and they
Chris
scored high
Pine's
enough.
dreamy, right?
They
Yeah.
sent
Yeah.
Ryan to the Tampa airport, and we're like, go around and ask people
I like
if they like
Chris Pine.
if they like
Zachary
Ryan.
Quinto.
Chris Pine is my favorite of the Chris's. I know it's like a hot take, but I think he's the best Chris.
He's
Yeah.
got a
Solid
I would love to
Chris.
see more Pine.
He stayed kind of like, he's kind of cruised. He's like a slow but steady Chris. He
Yeah,
hasn't.
I think he's an underrated Chris.
Yeah, definitely underrated.
Yeah.
So yeah, per Variety, Paramount did market research to determine audience interest in the rebooted cast. Execs determined there was
Great.
still lasting audience enthusiasm for Pine, Quinto, and the rest of the cast in their established roles, which allowed the studio to feel comfortable with moving forward, bringing them back. So there's been many scripts, many different takes. Noah Hawley, Quentin Tarantino. There's another Star Trek script that's being rewritten as we speak. Yeah, I mean, I think it's like everybody has affection for this cast of characters to some degree or another, but the movies just haven't clicked aside from the first one. Like the 2 and 3 were total duds, and I was psyched for the third one. Like Simon Pegg, was he directing or just writing?
He
wrote
wrote it.
He wrote it, yeah. But it just seemed like such just a generic Star Trek planet side adventure. They haven't had their big moment yet. So what's going to get you back to theaters to see Star Trek again? Is just this cast enough? Because it wasn't for the third movie.
I think, first of all, we've just seen that everything can be nostalgia now, right?
Yeah.
So this movie, the first Star Trek with them was 2009. So it'll be a while since they first debuted. Because the other thing I'll say, because I love the 2009 movie, and yeah, I like Beyond more than you, it sounds like, Spencer, but I'll say one other problem with that series, beyond what you think of the second and third, is they took too long. Like From Beyond or Into Darkness, I'm sorry, took 4 years. Like you don't wait that long these days. And so that was that big problem. So I think they might benefit from the like being away for a while in a way, because now it gets to be like, hey, I remember when I liked this cast 14 years ago or however long, before we actually get to see this movie. So maybe in a strange way it helped that it's going to take a long time, but I am glad they get another shot at it because it's a good group of people.
I think Beyond was the way to go. I don't love it. It's an okay movie. I think there's some stuff that works really well about it and some stuff that does not click. But I think that's the right approach, which is they've got all the TV stuff with the timelines that are very like set at a point in the Star Trek established narrative and that are fulfill that sort of promise. And so I think they should treat the movies just like these are one-off adventures in a Star Trek universe. Like they shouldn't be too caught up in like I think that was the one problem they got into with both 2 and 3, that it's too like self-referential and they're trying to tell this totally new Star Trek story in this brand new universe and really world build. And like, no. We know enough about the Star Trek world to like have an adventure, like go to a new planet, meet a new species of alien, meet a new villain, you're on a space adventure. And like, I think the more they treat it like that, like naval battles in space and these unique sci-fi adventures each time, I think it could still work because it's a likable cast.
Yeah, but I think you're missing an opportunity to just keep redoing the Star Trek movies, because now you'd be up to 4 where you could do the one where
don't do the whales.
They time travel to save the whales.
No more whales.
No,
please.
listen. Here's my thinking. First of all, 2 things are going to get me into this theater. One already happened: the defensiveness of the press release. I love it. They were like, we asked around. People want this.
Listen, shut up
that.
for a second. This
Absolutely
is good.
love it. We're not just doing this. People said they like it. I love that. That's my favorite kind of press release, where they're just super defensive. The other thing that would really get me into theaters for this one is if, with no warning, Chris Pine shows up and he's bald. He's Picard now. And then they do a movie-length version of that episode where Picard settles down and has a family.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
Learns to what was it? He plays the flute or the harp? Is it the harp?
I think it's a
Which
flute.
instrument was it?
He's got a flute. He's got a
It was a
flute.
flute. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a flute. Yeah. I want that. I want to see Chris Pine trying to play the flute
No, it's
for like
like
20
a
minutes.
recorder.
Yeah, I was gonna
or
say, is it like a
something.
space flute or something?
It's like a space
Yeah,
flute.
space
We need to
flute.
call Dan.
Yeah.
I think they should just go full
That's what I
multiverse
want.
and be like, let's call down to engineering and it's Cartman. All right. So yeah, we'll give him another shot. I think we're all mildly excited, according to the press release and the market research.
Market research.
Yeah. I turned the dial slightly above average. So it's President's Day. Happy President's Day to all of us. Lucky enough to live under a president. Isn't it great, folks? Don't you love
If
it?
you
Nothing's
are
gone
president,
wrong.
happy President's Day to you.
So good. What a good system.
To all
Love
you
celebrating
presidents out
it.
there. Yeah, it's totally working great.
No
So-
complaints.
so- we have just one final question here, because I guess we have to tip of the cap to today's theme at the very end. Who should play a president in a movie or TV show that hasn't already? This is in honor of user George Washington, who submitted this in the chat. So I guess we'll start with you, Lon. Who should be
Ooh.
president?
I would love to see, I feel like this might be more like a limited series, but could be a film. I would love to see Danny McBride portray the US president. I feel like nobody on TV right now captures like the essence of what it is to be American in 2022 quite the way that Danny McBride, the delusional confidence, the braggadocio, the sort of the like sort of outsized self-image. I feel like Danny McBride really captures that, and I can totally see him being our commander-in-chief.
That's good. Yeah. Tough to argue there. He does represent something about America of his last 10 years worth of work.
We're a nation of Jesse Gemstones. I think we need to admit that to ourselves.
Yeah, of the deplorable a-hole who's only rewarded for doing worse and worse things. USA. All right, Eric, who you got?
Or Kenny Powers. You pick your Danny McBride.
I will go with someone who I just always like to see in things because she's so good, which is Carrie Coon, because The Leftovers. If you haven't watched it, you should. It's fantastic, and she's so amazing in it. And I still don't think she's like quite, she's in things, but I still want her to be like more well known. And I want her to be in a movie where, whether it's a giant asteroid or aliens, I want her to be like the president in all those scenes we're cutting to while there's like, someone running around with ray guns having other fights. It's like, I'm president. And she's like, I'm not leaving. And she really makes her ground, stands her ground. She's
very aggressive and ruthless in HBO's The Gilded Age. So
that's right.
Like that's a sort of an indication of where she could go as a president.
Now she's playing a kind-hearted president at her core, but yes,
right. But I mean the same mix of like assertiveness and like I won't go down without a fight.
That's right.
Yeah,
yes,
strength.
you get it. So that's my choice.
Ooh, that's The Nest. She's so good. That's such a great movie, and people did not see it.
I haven't seen it. I'm going to put it on the list.
It's the Martha Macy May Marlene writer-director. It's his new one. It's really good, folks.
Bailey, who do you imagine when you recite the Pledge of Allegiance before SJU every day?
Okay, this is me requesting another video game movie. So, all right. First of all, I'm going to cut this off at the head. Pass this off at the head? Cut this off at the pass? There it is. Cut it off at the pass. Nailed it. Got it in one. There has already been a Sam and Max movie based on the classic point-and-click adventures, Sam and Max.
Good games.
Very good, yes. But what the movie neglected to do, which was a key plot line in the games, is make Max president. So, because Max is president for like several episodes of each game. I've been playing the new ones, the remastered ones. I'm like, oh, he's president for like a really long time in this. I want a Sam and Max movie where he's the president. That's what I want. Do you
I'm
not
all
have
about.
like
I
a
think we
red
should adapt.
carpet photo prepped for that?
Yeah.
Where is there? No,
Alright.
is there not? You don't have
You don't have that one?
like a dog and what is it?
I would
rabbit?
love a point and click verse. I think that those are video games that are actually like they're tailor made for movies.
Yes.
Like
There
we
has there
go.
not been
I
a
knew it was a
Yeah.
rabbit. I'm not-
I want Sam and Max. I want Monkey Island.
Monkey Island.
I want Putt saves the Zoo.
I want Day of the
Yeah.
Tentacle. I want
Yeah,
Incredible.
Maniac Mansion. They
Maniac
got
Mansion.
Maniac
Yes.
Mansion.
the Indiana Jones one was actually really good.
Ah.
Loom, where my Loom heads at?
Yeah.
Let's get that in there. Okay. I'm into this broader concept. Yeah, make any one of them president, sure. As long as you can
Yeah.
click look at and then click the
Yeah.
podium and you look at the
But
podium.
Max was canonically president, so it
Yes.
really worked. He
Yeah.
had an election against a giant statue robot version of Abraham Lincoln. So
As long as it's canonical, because I wouldn't
Yes.
want to violate the iron that Sam and Max can.
I do now want
There he
just like
is.
a random, live action dramatic movie where it's like President Garfield or not that President Garfield or President Alf, and they
Oh
just
God, that
like
turned
walk
out
in
so
and
dark.
President Bugs Bunny, and it's not addressed. It's just like it's not promoted as like a Looney Tunes movie. It's just like this character's in here and this is a role they're playing, or Kermit. There
Just
you go.
thinking Garfield as Garfield, and at the end he does get assassinated, and it's
But-
really
Yeah.
awful.
Bugs Bunny did memorably run for what is it, mayor, governor against Yosemite Sam? I don't remember. I think
Apparently
it's
not
mayor.
that memorably.
I believe they're mayor they're running for.
All right,
This
this is
cartoon.
some good stuff. I've got one. I think we all know that in 2024, the president of America is going to be either Donald Trump or like a gun that won't stop firing. But I think that if the
Ron
Democratic
DeSantis,
Party-
baby, come on.
Yeah,
Where are my
yeah.
DeSantis heads at?
the Sandman is going to be one of those two. So
Just
I think
rooting
that-
for like a friendly dog or something.
yeah,
Just a
well, the
happy
Democratic
golden
Party
retriever.
has to coalesce against someone that can unite the various branches of the party, the different factions, the rank and file liberal
Sure.
voters, and also have the backing of corporate America. I think Flo from Progressive has all the
Oh,
bona
the
fides
Progressive Party.
to
Of
be
course.
our next president, or at least raise a lot of money and then lose in the end. I think that we should just have Progressive Flo run for president. I
Yeah,
think
that's who needs more power in the American government. Insurance companies.
hello, Lon, where have you been?
Great
babe?
job,
Well,
Spencer. Thank
if
you.
if anyone's gonna be able to put money into lobbying, like
I
they
mean,
can do it.
Not
she's had
enough
such a great run with this.
insurance
so-
lobbyists
Yes.
deciding how things happen.
So there
Can't
you
be
go.
much
I think
worse. Let's go.
Look, I mean, I
Huge.
think we need to remember that the Ernest movies began with the character who was in commercials. So
True.
there's precedent, We can
And
make this
I
happen.
love that John Cherry, who
Precedent.
created the
There you go.
commercials, directed the movies. It's not
Yeah.
like he handed it off to a
No,
seasoned
the
director.
vision they
That's right.
maintained.
He was like, I'm just going to make the movies now.
yeah, I
I've
think that
done
is
the
the American
ads.
dream
Yeah.
is to go from commercial spokesperson to parody feature film director. Like
Yeah.
Ernest and the guy who came up with the Jack in the Box ads, but still plays Jack under the giant head. Like I think that's the last viable career path left in media is to be a spokesman. So there you go. Happy President's Day, everybody. What a rush. One for the books. But comment below with your favorite president, past or present. And
We
come back
won't be judging you based on your answers, though, so be careful.
yeah. And let us know your dumbest predictions for the year ahead. They can't get any dumber than ours. So thanks for joining us. We'll see you in some form or another later this week. Bye-bye.